Okay, it is time for your Sunday shift. Now, I was listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza talk about a couple things. I have helped out a lot of athletes by visualizing what they want to accomplish before they do it and acting as if it came out perfectly. They won. They had a perfect golf game. They ran faster in a cross country or 5K marathon than they've ever run before. Now, I am master hypnotist and complete mind therapist, Chuck DeBroder, and welcome to one of these 5 social media platforms. My local business is based a little bit on weather because I'm also a multi-year meteorologist, a degreed meteorologist. And then I have studied and used hypnosis and complete mind therapy and something I call the hypnotic mind shift transformation method for many, many years. Now, if you close your eyes and mentally rehearse what's going to happen tomorrow, or in a big speech you're going to give, how the audience is really going to focus on you and how you'll keep their focus. If you focus on a positive, and so many times, I specialize in erasing anxiety and depression, but so many times we have the what if disease. What if this happens? And what if this person talks about me? Or what if my boss tells me to come in and shut the door? Well, what if they're going to give you an award and they don't want the other office members to know until they announce it, but they thought they'd tell you first? Or what if, as I always say, a friend entered you in a contest where all of a sudden you get a $25,000 check in the mail because you won that contest, and the friend entered you into that contest you didn't know? Now, Dr. Joe Dispenza talked in a little short, and I went and investigated it. Harvard scientists took a group of men, 70 to 80 years old, took them to a monastery north of Harvard, and said, for 5 days, all I want you to do is pretend you're 22 years younger. So you're around 48 years old. And so for 5 days, these men in their 70s and 80s were exposed to things 22 years before. And actually, they were shown pictures of the Kennedys, Marilyn Monroe, and it might even have been because Dr. Joe said 22 years before, but maybe when they were 22. But anyway, they had magazines with articles and about the Kennedy brothers and about the Cuban Missile Crisis and music by Nat King Cole. And they made these men that were in their 70s and 80s feel as if they were much younger. And all their mission was told to them is to act as if you're much younger. So 5 days later, she played a little flag football with them, and they came back in. And before this experiment, they measured all their health challenges, their brain function, their cognitivity, their cognitive function, and a whole lot more. And guess what? at the end of the 5 days of acting as if they were 22 years younger or more, their finger length grew, their toe length lengthened. And that's a sign that arthritis had left. Then their cognitive function, their brain functions went up 60%. That's amazing. All by believing they were a different person. Now, if we can do that when we're whatever age, believe that we're younger, healthier, anxiety and depression free, believe as if we were 16 years old, 18 years old, 20 years old. If we believe that, our brain produces the same chemicals that it produced when we were in our teens, when we were younger. It adopts the same physiology. We have the same sort of mental energy that turns into physical energy, all by living in our subconscious mind. Now, for 19 years, I've developed this method where I use sports like visualization exercises. I use conversational hypnosis, which was developed by Milton Erickson, the king of hypnotists, in the way of his language usage. Now, beta, we're awake. That's the awake state. Alpha is the first level of hypnosis. I can actually talk to somebody, make them feel more relaxed, and drop them into an eyes open hypnotic state. So, visualization, Milton Erickson conversational hypnosis, and relaxation hypnosis, the type you see on TV and movies and comedy shows. Which, by the way, the comedy show Hypnotist, a lot of them make even better hypnotherapists because they have to do things fast on the stage so they don't lose the audience's attention. So again, going back to that Harvard study where they took a group of men in their 70s and 80s who all they were told is to just believe they were 22 years or more younger. And they stimulated visually, audibly, all their senses as if they were younger. And then all of a sudden they started acting like another person, like a person that was younger. So if this ends up being true, that, by the way, their mental functions went up. And I tell a lot of the older people in my life, never retire. Always challenge yourself mentally because it keeps your mind sharp. Another thing I saw online, at the age of 98 years old, an actor from Mary Poppins won a daytime Emmy. All right. And he's 98 and he is as mentally sharp as he was when he was younger. And whether he believes it or not, because he's an actor, and he says every day he is believing that he loves what he does. And when you love what you do, it's not work, right? And this actor is Dick Van Dyke, who had his own Dick Van Dyke show, a comedy show. He was in Mary Poppins. And he's 98 years old. And he's won a Tony, now an Emmy. He's won a Grammy. The only thing he hasn't won is an Academy Award. And the reporter said, maybe that should be next. What's next for you? If I could hypnotically make you believe you're a different person or a person you were a long time ago before all the drama and trauma and everything that we waste our time focusing on. The only time we focus on the past is pleasant memories of how we had no worries. And then we can project that on the right now and feel the same way. I'm giving away, and I have been giving away, free 45-minute hypnotic mind shift success consultations. And if you would like one, DM me or drop a emoji down below wherever this is playing. It's on 2 Facebooks. It is on Chuck DeBroder Lightning Hypnosis. Actually, it's called Lightning Hypnosis YouTube, Chuck DeBroder LinkedIn, and also on X as well. Wherever you're watching this, I'm willing to help you become another person by using your fantasy world, your subconscious mind, and then getting the troublemaker, the bodyguard, out of the way, our conscious mind, and get it on board to, instead of reminding us to be anxious or get back into a negative routine, it now reminds the subconscious mind and you to do something positive in your life. Make it a positive rest of your Sunday. That's when I am making this live stream, and a very successful and healthy week. And we'll see you again for another Sunday shift. And tomorrow on my group page, Hypnotic Mind Shift for Executive Leaders and Entrepreneurs. And if you want a link to that, you can join my private group where we give even more advice. And if you just joined right now, we talked about a group of 70 and 80-year-old men that were told to believe that they were 22 years or more younger. They gave stimulus, visual, audio stimulus, during the time they were growing up. And their brain functioning went up 60%. Their toes and fingers got longer, which means the arthritis was reduced, all by using the power of their mind. Go out and use the power of your mind and tell me some of your success stories, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Thank you all.